Welcome to Look Around Florida. Sean will be with you in a minute.
Hey guys, thank you for joining Look Around Florida. I'm your host, Sean McFall, aka the Florida Man. Let me get this out of the way so I don't get a phone call from my boss and so forth and so on. So, disclaimer, these are if anything, most of you know me well enough. Anything and everything can fly out of my mouth at a moment's notice. So that's why I do the disclaimer in case. So we got three people watching the chat. So in the comment section of the chat, just let me know who you are and what you represent, if you don't mind. So we got some events coming up. We have quite a bit of Lee Jackson dinners coming up in the. Hey, David. Hey, Linda. Hey, Roy. Uh, yeah, we have a whole bunch of Lee Jackson dinners coming up in the month of January. Right now, this is Christmas time. Everybody's kind of on break. This past weekend, I did Wreaths Across America to support the Daughters of the American Revolution out in Alva. Good time. They kept it short and sweet. Got done with the ceremony and laying the wreaths. Right when we got done with that, then the weather happened. So we were kind of iffy about it because of the weather. You know, some groups were doing it earlier in the day instead of right at the designated time. So please share this episode out. Let's get more people in the chat. Ready? Ah, crap. I had them up, then I lost them. So keep in mind the 32nd annual Lee Jackson Southern Heritage event will be January the 20th, 2024. Sponsored by or hosted by the Finley's Brigade Camp 1640 Sons of Confederate Veterans and the Marion Harvey Black Chapter number 5 of the Order of the Confederate Rose. Social hour will be at 5 p.m. Supper and program will be at 6 p.m. Be at Jackson's Lodge, number 1, 2818 Appalachian Parkway, Tallahassee, Florida. Tickets are $45 in advance. Door prizes, auction, catering by Texas Roadhouse. Guest speakers, none other than Thomas Jesse, appearing as Robert E. Lee. Now, Thomas Jesse has done his homework on Robert E. Lee, what Robert E. Lee's done in Florida. So if you're looking for a guest speaker, talk about Robert E. Lee in Florida, please hit up Thomas Jesse. For tickets, contact Adjutant Thomas Williams or Commander Mark Bess. And here's another Lee Jackson dinner. Please join us for the Florida Division event. Lee Jackson dinner, Sunday, January the 21st, 24. Special guest will be none other than Army of Tennessee Councilman Carl Jones will be the speaker. Everything kicks off at 5 p.m. If you need more information on that, please go to our Facebook page. Everything is posted right there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. To see Roy and Linda. Captain J.J. Dickerson Camp 1387 is proud to host the Southeast Florida annual Lee Jackson Dinner Southern Heritage Celebration at 5 p.m. Saturday, January the 6th, 2024 at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites at 301 Tucker's Lane, Cocoa, Florida. Located just west of Interstate I-95 and State Road 520. Honored guest speaker is none other than the Sons of Confederate Veterans Lieutenant Commander in Chief Donnie Kennedy. So I know most of these. Hey, Randy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. If you haven't been following Randy's Cook Camp Camp 1350 Facebook page, they've been doing an awesome job fixing up this old hangar, painting uh, different flags on it. Going to be using it as a training center for multiple different things. So please check out that camp. Let me double check that I got all the events in. Oh, if you're in the Florida Mechanized Cavalry, please check your email. There's going to be several events going on in January on setting headstones. So if you're in the Sons of Confederate Veterans Mechanized Cavalry, you are not on the email list. Please get with Captain King to get you on that email list so you know the dates and whereabouts that they're going to be setting headstones in the month of January. I did want to talk about one thing that happened this weekend. Hey, Beth. Welcome. Hey, Kim. So this past weekend, as we all know, we had possible high winds and heavy thunderstorms and that typical South Florida weather during the summer, not this time of year. So I went out to Buckingham to take down the flags. When I got there, all the flags were gone off the big pole, small pole, off the graves. As I was looking around the cemetery, all the flags were gone off of all the veterans. So, notified a couple community members. They said they forgot to message me. No big deal. We don't know if the person was trying to be nice or mean about it. So got up Sunday. It was clear out. Still a little drizzy, but no big deal. Went out there, replaced the flags and all that. We did find. I did find. It looked like an animal sacrifice type thing. Somebody said it was due to some religious thing going on this time of year besides celebrating our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But I notified the caretaker of the cemetery. They were going to go by and pick it up. I got as soon as I got to church on Sunday, I got notified it was something else, and they notified the local law enforcement. Oh, thank you for that, Jeffro. I don't know if you guys saw this in the chat. The early camp took down the flag in Tampa. So if you're driving by I-75 and I-4, want to know where the flag is, it's down due to the possible storms that we had this past weekend. Just like Jeff Rose said, the flag will be back up as soon as possible. Thank you, Jeff, for that update. So, a lot of good news. At this time, we're going to be bringing up Tim and Cindy Pendleton. Tim is the new camp commander, and we bringing up the 11th Brigade commander. So please all say welcome and hi. How y'all doing tonight? And welcome to Look Around Florida.
Thanks for having us, Sean. We appreciate it.
Not a problem, sir. Go ahead,
Appreciate being here.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys took time out of your busy schedule to come on the show tonight.
Our pleasure.
So the floor is yours, Leon. what you been up to?
Staying out of trouble the best I can. I'd just like to give you maybe a brief history of the 11th Brigade since I've been involved in it. In the camps that used to be here, unfortunately, some of them are not here anymore. They defunct, but I got affiliated many years ago in the General Twiggs camp in Wauchula. I was the commander up yonder for, I don't know, 4 to 6 years. And then I left and it defunct and they closed down, unfortunately. Then I started the Confederate Cavalry and got it chartered here in Arcadia. And we went through this name to call it Confederate Cavalry because of the great cattle empire that was here in Florida at that particular time and still is here in Arcadia. It's a big cattle county. And we thought it would be appropriate, and I came up with a name, and everybody agreed to it, that we'd call it Confederate Cavalry, and we come up with Camp 2181. And then I've been the commander of that one for 13 to 14 years. We've never had a change of officers in this particular time for 13 to 14 years. But while this here was going on, I also, Sean, the Bogus camp that you are the adjutant now and involved in and bringing it back up online, which I appreciate that very much. I got that one chartered years ago, which was also in the 15th Brigade. Then I got the Joel Knight camp. It's also defunct, unfortunately, in Charlotte Harbor. That was the Joel Knight camp. Then I also got the Francis Henry camp in Sebring, which is still going. They're struggling, but they're still going. And then we had another camp in Bradenton that was in the 11th Brigade, the Robert E. Lee camp, and it's also defunct, which I'm so sad to say that those camps did not survive. I wish they had. So, I've been a camp commander for roughly 18 years, maybe a little bit more, and a brigade commander for over 6 years or more. And then we just changed our last meeting. We had a change of officers, and I'd like to announce that Tim Pennington has stepped up to the plate to be the camp commander of the Confederate Cavalry, and he is doing a good job. And I'd like to introduce him to y'all as the new brigade commander of the Confederate Cavalry, and his lovely wife, Cindy Pennington, which has also become the president of the Order of Confederate Rose, Chapter 24, I think it is.
Yes.
And so they're both doing a wonderful job and become good friends of ours, and we really proud of them, and we hope to carry this on. And I've stepped down to the lieutenant commander, which I've held all these jobs over the years, from adjutant to lieutenant commander, chaplain, and so forth and so forth. And I'm still active, and I still want to be active, but I'm certainly glad that Tim has stepped up to the plate, and I think he's going to do us a good job. So this time I'd like to introduce Tim Pennington and his wife, Cindy Pennington, as the new camp commander of the Confederate Cavalry, and Cindy as the new president of Chapter 24 of the OCR. So
Thank you. Thank you, Leon.
Thanks, Leon. And I would like to, I guess, introduce ourselves a little bit. But first, I'd like to, Leon has put a lot of time, blood, and sweat into building all this up. And I appreciate all the help he's given me and the support he's given me and the trust.
Oops.
well, it's been my pleasure, and it's a joy to work with y'all.
Oops.
No, you're fine. I can still see
Okay,
you.
my Chrome shut down and went off the screen. So I was lost. Like normal, I was lost there for a minute.
That's all right. Stuff happens.
But anyway, my wife and I are both from Virginia, which is good and bad. We're proud to be from Virginia, but we've seen what happened to Virginia here in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's something that we want to fight that type of thing, but it's hard to fight. we never saw it coming in Virginia. For people out there who aren't from Virginia and you read about this, if you would have told me 10 years ago that they would destroy Monument Avenue, I would have told you were crazy. It was almost a religious thing. It was so well loved. But that's the kind of thing we're dealing with. But I won't turn this into the talk on of all that. But that's one of the things that are important to me and I want to carry on as the commander. And one of the ways I think we need to do and strive for, and Leon mentioned, some defunct camps, and we have to grow our youth or bring more youth and get them involved. And, back in the 90s and the 2000s in Virginia, a lot of your younger members were involved because they're reenacting. Virginia is full of battlefields. It is more than 300 engagements were fought in the state of Virginia. So every weekend, these younger people that were into that could go doing reenactments, and they were really involved. And a lot of that's going now up there too, but down here it's a little harder to find things that the young people are going to want to do. They're not as content to sit around and talk about it, and study and stuff as we are. So that's a real challenge for any commander, I think, and it's a challenge that I take seriously. I'd like to that's all about me, some of my thoughts. Any questions, I'd be glad to take. I'll let my wife, Cindy, tell you what she's got going on with the OCR. And like I said, thanks a lot for having us on, and a special thanks to Leon. We really appreciate him.
Well, we appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I want to thank Leon and Dylan too. They've really helped me a lot, and the transition of the OCR officers. So thank you so much. We rely on you so much, and we couldn't do it without you. It's definitely a team effort. There I am. So thank you so much. I am new on the OCR front, so any advice or any information that you want to give me, I am totally open to any information that you have. I want to give you my phone number and my email address. I don't know if you can write that on there somewhere, but just to make sure that you know how to get in touch with me in case you have any questions, or if you have any information that you want to share with me or any ideas. So my phone number is 941-467-9722. And my email address is cindya.pennington@gmail.com. So if you want to get in touch with me with anything, just let me know. Want to remind everybody about the dues are due in January, and they're $20. Men and women can join. Men are called thorns. Women are the roses, and they can be in the OCR. It's a great place to start if you don't have your lineage researched yet. So it's a great way to get into the meetings and to listen to what the SCV and the OCR are doing. You can't vote or anything like that, but you can be involved, and you can know what's going on.
Now, Cindy, can children join the OCR?
Yes, they can. They're called rosebuds. So I think you have to be 8. I think.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. Yeah, 8
Is that
years.
right?
Oh,
That
something
sounds right.
Yeah.
This is quiz time now. But yeah, children can join. You have to be at least 8 though, and they're called rosebuds. I don't know if they're boys what they would be called, but probably thorns still.
Probably stinky bugs.
Probably. Probably.
But one thing to add to the OCR that, that Evelyn, my deceased wife, had that going and did a good job. But when she passed away, well, then I got married again, and DeLynn took that over, and she built the membership up quite a bit. And then she resigned, and Cindy took it over. And we're so glad that you took that over, and you've done a tremendous job to keep that going. And we're very proud of that, to keep that name going, Emmeline Piggott. And I don't know, we never did get the research done thoroughly, but we did pretty much come close that Emmeline Piggott was probably kin to me. She was a Confederate spy, and a good possibility that from what we could find out years ago that she was somewhat kin to me.
Wow.
So it means a lot to me if she's really kin to me, which we think that she was, but then she was a great lady.
Yes,
Mhm.
And a great Southerner.
yes, yes, she was.
But DeLynn done a lot to keep this going as well, and she's very proud as well that you took it over.
Well, I appreciate all yours and Delenn's help. I couldn't do it without you, that's for sure.
One of the great things I think about the OCR is it brings to attention a lot of the very, very proud, very brave, selfless Southern women who contributed to the cause. A lot of times history tends to kind of wash over it. And if any of you have ever heard any of my talks, I try to always bring it up because I know how my wife supports me. And I know that, in the 1860s, the women bore the brunt of a lot of the war. I know in Virginia they did. My ancestors did. And I'm as proud of them as I am my ancestors that carried a gun. And I really like the fact that the OCR brings some attention to that. I think it's very important, not only for us and for our ancestors, but as we recruit the youth. Those are good stories to tell to people. It generates a lot of interest.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely will.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about you never thought that the things would happen in Virginia. We never thought things would happen in Florida like they did. I guess we was kind of unprepared for it. We never dreamed that this here attack on us would come like this here. But it's here. It's real, and they are just tearing down everything, Southern or Confederate whatsoever. And that's a shame that this country has turned into this.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
With no respect for veterans or nothing whatsoever anymore in our society that we live in.
Yeah, they definitely have no respect of veterans, any and all types of American history.
No, not at all. It was no.
Well, part of what I want the OCR to do is to support the SCV. We are part of the Bogus camp and the Fort Myers camp and the Arcadia camp. And we want to support the SCV in any way that we can. We're trying to raise some money right now so that we can spread the word, be at activities, do some fundraising, do some recruitment, that kind of thing. So those types of things are what I would like to do while in the OCR, and just to support Tim and Leon and Sean and all you guys. So if you need anything, please let us know. Let me know.
Now, Cindy, you talk about getting the word out that the OCRs here in Southwest Florida. Have you thought about T-shirts or a banner, or when you're doing projects?
We thought about some things. The problem is we don't have any money, so so that's what I'm trying to do now, is to try to fundraise so that we can do those things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a great idea. Unless we put our own money into it, and I hate to expect people to do that. We just haven't started that up yet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the planning stage.
It is in the planning stage. Yes, indeed.
Oh man, guess who joined the chat? Annette. Annette Lindsay joined the chat.
Well,
That's
hi.
another one that's helped me so much is Annette. We talk very frequently. So
Well, Cindy, what is life membership in the OCR now? Is it still the same price, or has they've changed it?
it's 150.
How much?
150.
150. Okay,
Yep.
Yep.
because I know I'm a life member.
Yeah, we actually have two life members now. We did just have you, Leon. Now we got another one.
Well, good.
Ooh.
Our,
Glad there's another one out there.
yeah, so that's awesome.
I'm a life member in everything, national, division, the Museum of the Confederacy. I'm a member of everything.
Yep.
I'm a true card carrying Southerner.
Yeah.
Now, Tim and Cindy, how's the transition been going for you guys? Being from Virginia, now living in Florida, and getting used to all of us crackers.
Well, what I run into mostly in this, I don't mean anyone in this conversation or watching, but it's hard to find true Southerners. Most everybody's from somewhere else. So it's a little, I'm so glad we found, Leon. Leon's been great, and Klaus and you, and we found some what I call real Southerners. I guess we all live in the South, but it's few real Southerners around. It's nice to have the same culture and be around that. But Florida has been great. We were fortunate. We came down here. We didn't even have jobs. So we just our youngest daughter graduated college, and we left Virginia and came down, and I was able to find a decent job, and my wife's got her business, and we've just been blessed in a lot of ways, and we made some really good friends, and that's probably the most important thing. I have friends and support, so it's been a good move for us. I will always miss the mountains, and I'm very proud to be from Virginia, and what it's stood for historically. I think some very great people have come from Virginia, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
But I'm also proud to be a Floridian now, and
Right.
and the friends and ties I've made down here, and I love Florida's history and the stands they've taken. It's some proud people down here and some proud lineage that people here should be proud of. So.
Yep.
And I think for me, being raised in Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley, where so much of the Civil War was fought, we were inundated in it. The history was just all around us. We had so many battlefields, and when we moved to Florida, there's not as much here as what we are used to. So it's so nice to have a group of people that we can get together with and learn more about Florida and the Civil War. And I mean, I'll tell you, I know a lot about Virginia and the Civil War, but not a lot about Florida and the Civil War. So I'm learning that.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying that. And I appreciate everything that the SCV and the OCR have taught me so far being in Florida.
That's cool. Yeah, because sometime next year, depending on his schedule, I'll be bringing on Michael Hardy, and we're going to be talking about. We talked about this year about Florida with the Army of Tennessee. We're going to be talking about Florida and the Army of Northern Virginia.
Nice. Yes.
Well, we're gonna teach y'all to be real crackers, because we're gonna show y'all how to cook and eat swamp cabbage and wild hogs.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait. We're ready for that.
Horseback riding and all that stuff.
Yeah, we can't wait. So.
Yeah, we enjoy new things. That's one reason we picked up and moved. Is we like I said, youngest daughter was, well, she didn't really move out. We moved out, but we were through raising kids, and we wanted something new, and we came here. And we've enjoyed it.
It's given us a lot more opportunity because, like we've said before, if we stayed in Virginia, we probably wouldn't be as involved in the SCV and the OCR as we are now. So Florida's really, and you guys have given us a huge opportunity, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
Now, Tim, Cindy talked about some of the stuff that she had is planning and working on with the OCR chapter. What's some ideas that you have to help out your camp grow?
Well, what I want to do is, first off, I've contacted all of my members and let them know that, a lot of people have other activities that they're engaged in, and I've let them know that I'm open to working with their schedule. If it's someone that is involved with, I don't know, for an example, if they play softball or something, and they know that every third Saturday they're going to be away playing softball, send me your schedule, because I'm going to try to work out any activity to where the most of our camp members are able to come. Now, they still may not come, but I want to make it so I've done what I can to make sure the most of them can. That's number one. Number two, I've asked for ideas from everyone for things we can do. And I want to open up the definition of the things we do. We tend to get, everything we do is very important. The flagging and keeping up with the memorials and the tombstones, that's the wreaths, all that is extremely important. But I want to also open that up to, let's take a half a day Saturday and let's go somewhere historical as a camp. And it doesn't have to be about the War of Southern Independence, and we can't find it down here. There's stuff down here to go to, but it doesn't have to. Let's go do something else as a camp. Let's form a bond with these people that maybe we'll keep them in camp and get more people involved. That's just some of my ideas. They may not work. I don't know, but I'm going to try them. I want to, I know we have like flagging we want to flag a cemetery. I want to turn that into an event. I know Leon has been tireless and selfless in his flagging, and that means the world to me that he does that. But I'm going to try to turn that into like maybe a Saturday event where we go flag a cemetery or two, and then we all go get lunch, or we all go that's some of my ideas. Like I said, they may not work, but I'm going to try it. I don't want Leon to have to flag everything, because that's kind of how it's fallen. Thank God for Leon, because he's taken a lot of it on himself. And he's going to be giving me ideas, I hope, of stuff to try. But that's just right off the bat. That's some of the ideas I have.
That's cool. Funny you should mention that, Tim, because I had that my camp last meeting. I had that same idea as you, having a business meeting, the next meeting, do an activity, barbecue, go to a historical site, picnic, something where we get to know each other.
Right. And I mean, I like the meetings because we go and we get to talk and we get to visit. But a lot of it is business, and a lot of the guys have worked all day, and it's not that exciting for them. It's not that fun for them. And if that's all the SCV is to those members, I'm afraid will the younger ones especially. They're from a world that's different than than we grew up in. They're so used to being entertained constantly, and then we can never do that for them. But we can try to adapt, and I think we're going to have to adapt, or we're going to die out. Is my opinion. And we're going to have to be really careful with how far we do adapt. I mean, but we're going to have to make some changes, or we're not going to have any youth. When we look around and I'm one of the youngest ones there, and I'm not that young. it's just not, it's not a good future, you know. So that really concerns me.
Yeah. And Tim, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because the average age in my camp were majority of us are in our 40s. We have a couple older members, but the average is 40 to 50 years old.
Yeah, and we grew up differently than 20 and 30-year-olds did. We also grew up with different history being taught than 20 and 30-year-olds did, which is another fight we have. I mean, so, and I've told a lot of people this, if I'd only heard the history about the South of these kids here, I would think like they did. That's why we're in the shape we're in. So we just have to, we're gonna have to deal with those people differently than what we were dealt with, how we gained interest. And at one point someone looked at us and said, hey, what we're doing, we need to make a difference for this young bunch here that was born in the 60s and the 70s. They're different than we are. They did it for us. They might not even thought about it, but they did. They did it so we would be interested, or and look what you're doing is a prime example. We didn't do something like this 20 years ago.
Well, you're absolutely correct, Tim, because when I joined the SEV over 20 years ago, all I saw was my local camp. I didn't know. Yeah, I'm getting the Confederate veteran. I'm going, okay, this is saying we're bigger than what I'm thinking. How do we get that information going? And thank God for today, with today's technology. Thank God for what I'm doing here in Florida and for SCV chat. We're trying to get the word out.
And that's how it's going to have to be done, because you're not going to talk to someone that's under 30 unless you're talking to them electronically. I mean, it's just, and they don't even make phone calls. I mean, it's all text. It's all, they're on TikTok, and that's how we're going to have to adapt to that. And I don't like it. I personally don't like TikTok. I don't like any of it, but that's what we're going to have to do.
Right.
It's, you have to make adjustments on the battlefield, and we're going to have to make adjustments on our battlefield.
Yeah. Just like you said, our ancestors did it. We need to.
Right. And it's a hard sell, because none of us, we're all, I know I'm always afraid. Well, if I try this, if I do this, if I don't do that, am I somehow ruining or changing the experience into something it shouldn't be? So it's a fine line there that we all have to walk. Yeah. And figure out as we go, and help each other. I mean, if I'm doing something, like I said, I keep banging on Leon's drum here. I've got Leon to jerk me in line,
yeah,
and keep me. And I'm thank God I've got him. But we all need that, sometimes to help us out and help us think about it.
I'll carry you back out there in the woods with them cemeteries. We're out there in the woods.
He drove us too far out one. Now we're from the sticks of Virginia, so we've been out, Yeah. But he drug us out there, and Cindy said maybe he's mad at us. He's taking us off out here somewhere.
Well, that cemetery we went to out there, that's there's a woman buried out there named Arcadia Albritton, and that's where Arcadia got its name, and she's also related to Greg Albritton.
Oh, nice.
That's
cool.
And Leon, have you taken them out to the ones in the middle of the cattle fields yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I took Tim and Cindy, Mindy, Lynn did to all the cemeteries that was in Arcade at one time. I don't know if they remember how to get to all of them again, but we need to go again.
Yeah.
We're familiar with that. My most of my ancestors are buried in little family cemeteries in Virginia. So you find that over here I go, but you find that over the South because the roads were so bad back in the days. They couldn't get to a church cemetery or a church, and everything was spread out. So they just buried them at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knew that. I got to throw in my history,
Hey, you're on the
Well,
perfect show to do that.
it's been interesting. We've got, I think, about 8 cemeteries here in DeSoto County with about 70, maybe 80 Confederate veterans buried interned in this county, and it's a job to keep all the flags on them, and we try to do it at least twice a year. Uh, Sometimes you may have to do a little quicker than that, depending on the weather.
Mhm.
And the ones that's in the direct sun, because the sun really attacks those flags pretty bad. But we do our best to keep them clean and upgraded so that, and it's like I've heard before, all the effort that we do, we may never get the credit for it. And in hundreds of years, some of these headstones, they claim that they can last for 300 years. But that nobody will never know probably what Donna has done except for us,
Yeah.
in years to come. But in 300 years from now, somebody will know that there's a Confederate veteran buried there in that spot.
Yep.
So that's what's important. And you're exactly right. We need to recruit younger people, which seems to be a very challenging event to try to get it done. But so far, we've done good in this camp. It has grown. I don't know how many members we got now, probably close to 40. We started, I think, when we chartered this camp years ago, 13, 14 years ago. I think we started with about 12 or 14 members. So we have grown. We've lost some as well, but I think we're up close to somewhere about 40 members. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's like, here we go. That's been Leon. He's really grown the camp, and he's brought in the young ones.
Yep.
He's done a really good job with it.
Yeah, my camp, we only got one young member, and he's starting to get out of his shell. He went with me Saturday for Reach Across Reach Across America out at the Alva Cemetery. Our youngest member. He's only 17 years old.
Nice.
It's great.
That's great.
Well, if every member we got, let's say we got 35 members, maybe not quite 40, but at least 35 members. If every one of those members would bring in another person, that's 35 more people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And their kids and their.
But it don't seem to work that way, but it should. I mean, everybody that joins the SCV should bring at least one person in.
Yeah, at least.
I agree. Now, that being said, someone like me, where I work, there are very few people from here, and I don't know people from here. It's real hard for me to recruit down here because and I guess I am kind of making an excuse, and I don't really mean it to be that way, but it's not. I don't have the contacts that you guys that from down here are out in Virginia, totally different world. But down here, I'm rarely around anyone from Florida or even from the South, actually.
It's exciting to them having you.
I talk as much as I can. Everyone knows I'm a member, and I talked to them about it. And I've told Leon this before. There are people that had a very different opinion of the war and of the South, and I spent some time with them, and they have slowly and begrudgingly came around and realized that a lot of the stuff they had been taught was just downright lies, and that's not easy to do. I mean, so I'm proud of that. I have been able to do that. Where my bringing in recruits, I haven't been as good at, but I have changed some people's minds, and I'm hoping that maybe if there's somewhere and their communities talking about tearing down a memorial, they'll remember. They'll remember that. Hey, I used to work with this guy named Tim, and he told me about this, and this isn't how it is. So that's something else we can do to help our cause. Is we tend to want to be combative with these people that don't understand it, and that's easy to do, especially when you've seen your heritage and your statues destroyed. But sometimes you have to just try to teach them, swallow your pride and just try to teach them. And hopefully hopefully it'll pay off down the road somewhere.
Yeah. It all
It-
starts with the conversation.
Yeah.
Yep. Education is knowledge, and knowledge is power.
So,
Also, we got several new members that's done ordered uniforms and everything. So that's an encouragement.
yeah.
Yeah, we have several new members that have a lot of energy and are really proud to be part of us, and that's good. I mean, it's good to see it. I think they're going to be very strong members. So.
Taking on positions.
Yeah, they took on positions and stepped up to the plate, and I was very proud of that. And also, Sean, we got this Turner Center coming up March the 23rd, Pioneer Days.
Yeah.
Also, that's coming up in March here in Arcadia.
Do you want to talk about it, Leon? Go ahead.
Well, it's really Ron's thing. It's a tractor thing, but yet they let us set up in there, and some of the cowboys set up a little cowboy camp, and we set up for the SCV, and we have good response and have a little show. Sometimes we go get the Confederate wall and put it up, which is always a big attraction. A lot of people come and look at it. We have a lot of good conversations, to educate people, and that's what it's all about. And we end up having a good time.
Yeah. Leon, your cousin just joined the chat, and he said hi.
Oh, Garrett. Hi,
Yes,
Garrett.
Yeah. Hey, Garrett. Good to see you, buddy. Well, keep in mind, guys, we are sponsored by the Florida Division. Not only we're on Facebook, we're also on YouTube. And please go through YouTube and find an episode that strikes your interest and share it with your camps. It helps me out. It helps you guys out to be able to communicate, get the word out, what's going on in the Florida Division. SCV, and just like Cindy's on, and Annette Lindsay has been on, with the Order of the Confederate Rose here in Florida. Keep in mind, if you go to our website, Florida Division's website, June 1st is the Florida Division reunion. You can go right to our website and print out the paperwork to register for the Florida Division reunion. It will be held in Trenton this year. Direct quote I got from our division commander, Kelvin Hart. There will be something special in your packet this year. Just like last year, there'll be something special. He did not comment. I have no clue what it is this time. So please check out the Florida Division's website. And soon as I help Cindy out create her chapter's Facebook page, when I get a second, I will put it out on Look Around Florida so you guys can keep up with Cindy and the rest of the girls with the Picket OCR chapter. Annette, is there any type of registration or anything that the ladies need to do for your guys' meeting in Trenton in June? I probably got her off guard. This just came from Annette. She'll be sending out the stuff to the OCR chapter presidents in January. So keep an eye out for that. So, Leon, Tim, Cindy, I just want to say thank you for coming on tonight. This is going to be our last show for this year until, let me pick the date. Yeah, because okay, no, that's New Year's Day. Yeah, there'll be a episode January the 2nd will be our next episode. With that being said, thank you all for coming on tonight and introducing yourself to the rest of Florida, Tennessee, and I do want to say welcome to Shreveport, Louisiana. Joined the chat tonight.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone that came to visit. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
And out of me personally, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and remember, this is our Lord and Savior's birthday, so please celebrate it.
That's right.
Well, I'd like to wish everybody across the Confederation and friends that I've known over the years and worked with in the Confederation, all of them a Merry Christmas and very Happy New Year and a prosperous New Year, and hope that they stay safe and sound and just have a wonderful holiday.
Yep, same here. I'll see y'all on January the 2nd. So which one? Here it is. We're going to end off with the faces of the SCV video. Till next time, stay safe. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
When my mother was in college, she danced with Confederate veterans. To me, it wasn't that far away. You know, my father knew this. My mother knew this. Almost 50 years ago, I joined the Sons of Confederate Veterans. In those days, we weren't concerned about saving monuments or any of those things. That wasn't necessary. In fact, none of us had any remote idea that it would ever come up. We can't just sit there and react. We have to be proactive. Or, as Robert E. Lee said, the best way to disrupt your enemy's plans is to strike first. Everyone should do all in his power to collect and disseminate the truth, in the hope that it may find a place in history and descend to posterity. History is not the relation of campaigns and battles and generals or other individuals, but that which shows the principles for which the South contended and which justified her struggle for those principles. If you're looking for some place to be where you think you're going to accomplish something to save our history, go to the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I'm Thomas Lee Jesse. I'm a descendant of Private Daughtery Gilmer, a Confederate veteran.
Have a good evening.